In today's video, we're talking about the 7 different factors that lawyers like us will consider when we are evaluating your accident claim. Sometimes it doesn't make sense for a law firm to take your case. Sometimes you don't really even have a case. But these are the things that we can consider to determine whether or not it's going to be a good fit, whether we're going to be able to help you get the treatment you need, whether we're going to be able to help you recover on your accident claim. So let's take a look at it. These are the 7 different things that an attorney will consider in evaluating your case. The first one, it's big. It's what is the liability in the case? Who is at fault for the accident? If the other party is at fault, if liability is very clear, that's going to weigh in favor of a law firm being able to help you, being able to take your case and do something to help you recover. But if fault or if liability lies with you, it's going to be very difficult, very rare for a law firm to take the case because you were at fault. It's going to be difficult to recover, to say that you're entitled to damages if ultimately you were the one who was at fault for the accident. Now, just because you were cited, just because an officer showed up to the scene and wrote you a ticket for running a red light or for an unsafe lane change or for causing the accident, doesn't necessarily mean that you're at fault for that. Our office, we've handled many traffic cases, and liability is not always clear. Many situations, the police show up after the fact. They don't do a thorough investigation. They don't bring an accident reconstructionist to the scene. They do almost no analysis. And so the determination of liability on the scene oftentimes just isn't accurate. So just because you've been cited doesn't mean that you're liable, but this is a big factor. Where is liability and how clear is it? The other thing that is important that attorneys will consider are the extent to which you've been, or people in your car have been physically injured. So what are the physical injuries? Are they going to be permanent? Are they going to be life altering? What kind of treatment is going to be required to get you healthy and get you restored? If there are no physical injuries, there's been no damage at all, that may be less worth having an attorney help you through the case. But if the injuries are extenuating, or they're very severe, they're going to be long lasting and highly impactful, that is definitely going to be something that an attorney can help you with for many different reasons, not only in coordinating medical treatment and care, but in establishing records and making a solid claim from the insurance company or from the opposing parties insured. The other thing we want to consider is not just physical injuries, but what other damage is prevalent. So things like pain and suffering, things like taking time off of work, things like property damage or a diminished value claim. So let's say you have a nice expensive car that can be repaired, but it's still going to be lesser in value. It's going to be lower in value just because of the fact that it was involved in an accident. It diminishes the value of that. So these are other damages that we want to consider when we're evaluating a person's case. The other thing we want to look at is our ability to recover. So what if we have clear liability, the other party's at fault, we have a lot of physical injuries, we have considerable damages that are involved in the case, other damages. But what if there's nobody to recover from? What if that other person was uninsured and you don't have underinsured or uninsured motorist coverage? Who are we going to go after? We're going to have to go after that other person. But what if they have no assets? So in other words, what if we have nowhere to recover from? That's going to be an important legal question that we need to look into. We need to decide, is it possible for us to go help you collect? If it's not possible, if we cannot collect from anything, we can do a ton of work, come up with a proper claim, want to take our case to a jury trial and all these things, but there's no ability to recover, so all of that work may be for naught. So this is a big part of the equation. Attorneys, especially our office and any reputable attorney, is going to look into that question. What is the ability to recover? Where is insurance? Insurance is there not to help people turn into millionaires, but it's to make you whole. If you've been involved in an accident, we want to make sure that there is some mechanism for ensuring you get the proper medical treatment, you get compensated for your pain, you get compensated for your time off of work, but we need to find out where that insurance is. If it doesn't exist, that's going to be a big factor and probably an indicator that a lawyer's not going to want to take your case. Also, timing is very important. So sometimes people will sit on an accident case for years and years, then they'll want to file a claim. Well, in Arizona, there's what's called a statute of limitations, which means you have to bring your case prior to a certain period of time. Otherwise, you lose your right to do that. So if a case has been sitting around for years, based on the timing, or if it's been handled by many other attorneys, or if it's been very kind of convoluted, that may be a factor that an attorney will not want to consider taking your case because it's just so old, or there's been too many hands in the pot, so they may not want to consider taking it. Or legally, if it's past the statute of limitations, there's nothing we can do. The case is just simply too old. This is a big reason why it's important, if you've been in an accident, to contact an attorney immediately so we can start working right away. We don't want to let this thing just linger. The other thing that is important is it goes to causation of the injuries. So up here I had spoken about damages and physical injuries. We also want to consider what else could have caused that injury or caused that condition aside from the actual accident. So let's say, for example, somebody had prior accidents or prior injuries or prior surgeries. Now, just because that has happened, it doesn't mean that the damages here in the new case are going to be irrelevant. That's not the case at all. But it is important to understand that as well. So are we talking about fresh injuries on a person? Are we talking about injuries that have been stacked on top of one another? These are all important to determining whether or not an attorney is going to be able to help you recover. And then finally, this is very important, we will consider taking a case if we have a good working relationship with the people who need our help. So people will come to our office. We want to make sure that they have an honest and open, very clear line of communication with everybody at our team. They're not hiding anything from us. We're not hiding anything from them. That's why we insist that we meet with people in our office prior to working with them on a case. We want to make sure that that this is a good fit. These cases can last months, if not years, so we need to make sure that we're going to be having a good working relationship. You trust us, we trust you, we're going to be working towards the same goal, and that goes to expectations. So sometimes people will have minor accident cases and they'll think that they can come in and win $10 million off of a settlement. Sometimes that's just not the reality. Sometimes it is, but sometimes it's just not. And so that's why we expect you to rely on our expertise so that we can clarify what the expectations should be, what they will be, what we're looking for as we resolve and settle this case. Otherwise, if we're just too far apart from one another on what those expectations should be, it's probably not going to be a good fit. You may want to go find another attorney who will tell you whatever you want to hear and then come back to you with an unrealistic settlement or give you ideas of an unrealistic settlement, then come back with a low number. You won't be happy. They're not going to be happy. It's not going to be a good working relationship. We don't do that here at our firm. So these are the 7 factors that we consider and a lot of other reputable attorneys will consider when determining whether or not we want to work with you, whether you want to work with us. We want to make sure that we're going to be able to have a mutually beneficial relationship. Make sure that you get the actual treatment that you need. Make sure that we're able to compensate you for your loss, and make sure that we can get you back on your feet and back living your life as though this accident never happened and you're fully compensated for it. So if you have been involved in an accident, if you're considering hiring an attorney to help you through this process, which can be a lot more complicated than people might otherwise think, give our office a call. We offer free case evaluations. There's no out-of-pocket cost for us to get started working on the case. We don't collect a fee unless we can bring a substantial feedback for you and get you the actual compensation that you need. There's absolutely no obligation at all. Come into our office, we'll sit down, review the facts of your case, make sure this will be a good fit. We'll get started working for you. Thanks for watching.